Welcome to the next episode of Sunday Short Story Showdown, where we will once again put two authors from the same genres head-to-head to see who has the better story. Today's two stories come from the sci-fi genre, so without further ado, let's get started.
Our first short story, Stroboscope by Geoffrey A. Landis, was published in the June 1986 issue of Analog Science Fiction and Fact. It's a compact and clever 8-page read. Never underestimate the power or persistence of a bureaucracy. The year is 1989. Our unnamed protagonist is an unemployed electrical engineer who stumbles upon a new method for making inductors on integrated circuit chips. With the help of his lawyer, Mr. Worthington, he patents his invention and becomes extremely wealthy. By 1995, hibernation hypothermia has emerged as a new technology, and our newly rich inventor decides to use it as a kind of low-budget, one-way time machine. His plan? Hibernate and wake up every 100 years. Upon each awakening, he'll spend a few months exploring the future before going back into hibernation again. It's a clever and carefully planned idea, but will he even make it to the first century mark? As it turns out, bureaucracy has other plans. Our protagonist is stunned when he's awakened early. Not by scientists, not by catastrophe, but by Mr. Worthington himself. How is his lawyer still alive 100 years later? The twist, he hasn't even made it 5 years into hibernation. He's been revived for an in-depth interview by the Census Bureau. And that's only the beginning.
So, what did I like about Stroboscope? I really love the comedic hoops the main character has to jump through, all thanks to an overburdened and absurdly persistent bureaucracy. The repetitive nature of his situation made me laugh again and again until I actually started to feel bad for the guy. The ending even includes a clever little loophole. If only he can get past even more red tape. This was a fun, fast-paced read with a sharp sense of humor. I absolutely enjoyed it.
Our second short story, Rocking the Boat, was also published in the June 1986 issue of Analog Science Fiction and Fact. It's another compact, quick read at 8 pages as well. Politicians, by the nature of politics, are usually working toward at least 2 goals, which may well conflict, thereby requiring hard-person choices. In this story, we follow Greg Weiss, a senior advisor to the President of the United States. Greg has arranged a meeting with Nicholas Reinman, the current NASA administrator and a longtime supporter and generous financial backer of the president. Nicholas is pushing hard for a major funding package for one of NASA's new projects. Greg's job? Politely but firmly, shut him down. It's a delicate task. He has to deliver bad news while keeping Reinman's continued support intact. Fortunately, Greg is known for being great at his job, almost to the point of cockiness. But don't underestimate Mr. Reinman. He's no pushover. As the meeting unfolds, it becomes clear that Reinman may have a few tricks of his own. Can Greg stick the landing, or is he the one being played?
What did I like about Rocking the Boat? This story has grown on me more and more since I first read it. Initially, I thought it was just a story. Nothing too remarkable. But the longer it's been simmering in my soup for brains, the more I've come to appreciate how well it was crafted. The pacing is tight, the twist is great, and I especially enjoyed how one of the characters ends up learning something about themselves by the end. There wasn't anything I disliked about either story. I also really appreciate that both stories I read this week were just 8 pages long, yet both managed to deliver satisfying and well-structured narratives with strong conclusions. So, which story did I like best this week? As most of you know, I'm a bit of a clown, and I enjoy me some good humor. And while Rocking the Boat turned out to be much better than I originally gave it credit for, I'm giving the slight edge to Stroboscope by Geoffrey A. Landis. That story's mix of cleverness and humor really won me over. So, week 2's winner is Stroboscope. And just for fun, I'm now going to pit the weekly winners against each other to see how long a story can stay on top. Between last week's winner, Gardening, and this week's Stroboscope, my pick for best story to date is Stroboscope. I just really enjoyed the humor in this story. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Sunday Short Story Showdown. I hope you'll join me next week for another journey through a couple bite-sized fictions. And hey, if you're planning to time travel, just remember, no matter how far you go, bureaucracy is already there. And it brought a clipboard.